Happy Thursday. Day was kind of busy. Got away from me a little bit, work and all that stuff. I have some time. I'm not exactly even sure how much time I have. I'm not working tomorrow, and I plan to probably do some kind of mega working stream tomorrow, maybe even in addition to another stream, just to try to get some stuff done. Because my wife and daughter are going out of town. I'm going out of town next week on Tuesday, but I'll talk about that next week. They're going out of town tomorrow morning, so I will have plenty of time to theoretically do stuff. We'll see what I actually get done. Another note. Oh, well, a couple things. So I think I mentioned this. I put up a community post on YouTube and I think elsewhere. I'm getting on the bandwagon in terms of Spotify and the digital, or it's not digital, and the video, because now you can upload. I don't know when they came out with this, but I just caught my attention the other day. Uploading video, you can upload videos directly to Spotify, which allows people to watch or listen stuff through Spotify. And I guess you can then, it's got an RSS feed, so you can take it out of there and listen to. I'm guessing that'll be audio only. I haven't really messed around with it. I'm going to be uploading stuff probably on a weekly cadence, though I was thinking about, especially since I have backlog stuff. I don't know how much backlog I'm going to do, but some of the stuff like I did over the last day or so is I took the series reading through Dune, I kind of put it up in one big chunk. I didn't do it all together because I didn't have it. You have to download it. I cut out just the intro kind of stuff and then threw it back up there. So I might do that when I have, okay, this is in 5 parts. Maybe I'll just do the 5 parts together and kind of throw them out there in quick order. But generally speaking, stuff's going to go weekly. We'll see. We'll see how it works. Just another way to kind of, I don't know, diversify things, give people different methods to watch. And I have an audio version. I think I'm going to go do some kind of podcasty stuff with that. But part of the problem, it's not a problem. It's just it's work, right? And I have too much stuff going on, and it was something where it's just easy to sort of get behind and then drop converting stuff to audio. I'm hoping that the Spotify solution is going to be very easy because I'm just cutting off the front. That's very easy to do. I can do it in DaVinci Resolve in like 20 seconds. I can just cut out the front, slap the a thumbnail. I'm kind of using a sort of intro image, which I have a thumbnail anyway for putting on YouTube, and then I can throw it out there. So it's a bit more convenient, I think, for me. Just cuts down on the kind of work I was doing in terms of converting to audio, and then I can go. I don't know if stuff like this, these kinds of working streams, I'm thinking they probably won't go to Spotify. But we'll wait and see how that works out. Another note just on these, I think sometimes I'm not someone who's ever gotten super involved in trying to work the algorithm, whatever. I have a basic understanding about how YouTube does things. I do think sometimes that I actually, in my quest to get people to watch me, I don't know sometimes that some of the choices I make, well, I mean, many of the choices I make are definitely inefficient. I think sometimes these working streams, as much as some folks love them and whatever, they're probably not. When I do a bunch of them in a row, I think they can kind of clog things up, and someone may show up on and the feed and maybe only see this little piece of what I'm doing, not other things, and it might. I don't know if they turn away from it, whatever. But so what I've done, I said but I didn't mean it. So what I've done is with some of the ones in the past, I can go through that. I'm going to put them all in a playlist. I think I have the playlist set up. It's called Working Streams. And those kind of things are going to go in there. And then I'm going to essentially make them kind of pull them off of the normal rotation. I think in YouTube parlance, it's like I make them, I forget, it kind of pulls them out of search and stuff, but they're still there. And that way, for folks who are interested, and I'll probably post something in the community, whatever, saying, hey, this is out there if you missed it. Hey, Ian. But it'll probably just kind of pull it back a little bit. And that way, I'm hoping maybe it won't hurt my discoverability, which I think it might. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't do a whole lot to try to as anyone who has followed this channel knows, I don't do much to try to maximize my chances of success or anything. But I thought this is something I can do. It doesn't really hurt anybody. The people who want to find those streams, they'll be there. But maybe for folks who are just showing up, the stuff that is maybe ultimately more like, hey, this is what I feel like is really something, as opposed to a bunch of working streams where I'm kind of blobby-blowing sometimes about nothing in particular and working on things. They don't get bogged down with that, if that makes sense. let me know. If it doesn't make sense, whatever. But if you're wondering, like, oh, I was looking for that, I was interested in, and I missed it, there, that's where they will be. I was thinking about just doing that starting off, but there's not, I use this third party tool to stream, kind of multi stream to a few places, and that doesn't give me the ability to put things into a playlist. So I don't have, and doesn't let me set discoverability either. So I have to do that stuff afterwards, but that's probably okay. So you get notified if you got all the bell and whatever stuff, then you'll get notified of these. And if they're not your jam, you can skip them, and then they'll just be kind of out of the way. But I've always said that streaming these things I do find helpful, even if sometimes I don't. If you're watching them, sometimes they like, gee, he's spending an hour on this. He's not really doing too much, but I actually do find it helpful. Um, but they're not going to bog things down for folks who might not be interested in them. Okay, I'm back. I'm still working through my Temple of Salvation. This is what happens. This is part of my issues. Is I start working on stuff and I end up like I know I have particular tasks. I need to write down all the room descriptions, but then I start getting bogged down into doing things like doing stat blocks and doing the wandering creature checks. So I recognized this afternoon as I was starting to work on that I'm like I'm getting bogged down stuff that I don't need. I mean, I need to do them. I need to do all that stuff, but I don't need to do them right now, right? But I kind of get stuck, and that thing is another part of the issues I think sometimes with working in the layout thing is you can get really caught up, and I do in doing the layout and doing certain things, and I need to be better disciplined because I know that the ideal workflow would be that I kind of work in plain text or something, just get all the stuff down, and then come to this and do the tweaking and stuff. But with this one in particular, really with a bunch of them, I kind of got ahead of myself. Oh yes, I have all these to do, and then I just don't. I don't get, or it just ends up making things more difficult. I did forget though that actually these labels are in this. They're not hard. They're not hard. What am I? Hard. I was gonna say hardwired. They're not burned into the image. It's in other words, I can edit these. I'm not locked into them. That's good. Frederick says no food till the stream. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah. At some point, my wife and daughter who are leaving tomorrow, they wanted to get pedicures before they left, so they went to get pedicures, and they're picking up dinner on the way home. So it's kind. I asked, "Do I have time to stream?" And my wife said, "Yes, but hurry." So I pretty much tried to pop on as soon as I got that missive. Let me just move this out so I can find an image. But we'll see. We shall see. All right, documents. Let's see. Let me find where this is. Okay, we're in there. Where's my map? Is the one? Well, that's kind of got it, but it's not. No, that's not it either. Did I not do the map? I thought I did. A bunch of these redos, but which one's the final one? I need to sort. Can I sort by date? This one's not going to have my numbers in it, is it? No, it's not. Should have output the page before I thought about it. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some back and forth. So the commons area. All right, so there's our map. I'm pretty much done with the cells, I think. I'm not, you know what? I'm gonna move on just to get some more stuff down. And then we're in the living areas. I think L1 is this big kind of common area, and it merges into kind of L3 here. I don't know whether I think they're separate areas, even though they're not. There's no border in between them, but they're kind of different. So I labeled them as such. So it's L1 is the common area, right? Oh yeah, and I'll do the reformatting later, and then we have the kitchen. I got to remember how was I writing these out before? Yeah. Okay, so what do we got here? So walls lined with crates and barrels, benches, stools, and tables. The bare stone with a central pile clear between them. Walls lined with crates and barrels, bare stone, with a central aisle. So basically, it's these are not great shakes. They're not living in luxury here. And then we have this area here, which is A. You know what? Hold on a minute. Let me do this. Let me see. Can I do this? Hold on a second. File. Export. Yeah. I know. I just want a. Oh no, I got to do it here. JPEG. No, I just want current page. That's fine. That's the wrong spot. Map keyed. It is, oops, amp keyed, not amp. Map keyed. Okay. Now we'll be able to try. You know what? Sometimes I have a decent idea. Sometimes, that is. And there we go. I feel like I feel like I have a bunch of monitors, but then I'm always feeling like I could use another monitor. You know, I could use another monitor. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to worry. I'm going to try this. I'm not going to worry about the text. I'm going to close all those panels, or rather the formatting so much. Okay, so the commons is here, L1. I can close this window now. Commons is L1, and it's just a bunch of stuff. I don't know what maybe L2. What's L2? L2 is staging. So if we think of the flow, you got folks coming here, and this is a little bit. There's a little bit of a recap. The Temple of Salvation is a cover for an evil cult, as you know. I mean, in fantasy games, that's kind of probably more common than not. Folks come in here, petitioners come in, they're sort of wooed and bathed, but given sort of drugs, and there's incense and things going on. Then there's funneled to here where they get dropped into this trap door and stuck in these cells. When they've got enough of them and they want to, and maybe there's a certain time of the month, I don't know, new moon, red moon, hunter's moon, whatever, blood moon, wolf moon, whatever. They're pulled out of the cells, walked down through here and into this area, and then past where things are done here. There's kind of an initiation that takes place here. This area is in terms of we have kind of living. I think these are bunk rooms, kind of bunks, places, living quarters. So this whole area is living areas. But here I think is where most of the sort of the rooming is, and then here's kind of the open area where people are doing things. And then here is where guards will gather, either slip through here. This is a guard area. So they can kind of come in, kind of in when time is right, sort of slip out here to take their posts. That some guards are on shifts, they will come out, they will go in, and so on and so forth. So this area is kind of where they're staying to do that. And then ones that are going directly into the cells area will come in here. So this becomes kind of an access path into this down below, and other folks are coming out in here to mingle and be the greeters and the hey hosanna, singing hosannas and doing that stuff, and kind of helping people feel relaxed until they're until they fall down the pit, until they fall down into the dungeon. That's where they are. There's something that I'm not. I don't know how to address it as of yet, but it's going to be interesting. Is that I think this is going to be a tough nut for people to crack, and it's not because there's a whole lot of trickery in here. There really isn't. But in my conception, the cultists are not stupid. And this is not a place where you just can go in the dungeon, come out, go in the dungeon, come out. So, for example, when the alarm is raised, if the alarm is raised, they're shutting this door and then they're going to put guards in here because they know they're not dumb. They know that you're going to have to come out this way. There is no back door out of here. Or was I going to have something here? Oh, yeah, there is a back door. Nope, sorry. There is a back door here, but that's very few people know about that one. That one's for the high priest to the guys in charge to get the heck out. So there is that. But other than that, which very few people are aware, there's no other way out for most folks. So if things go south, you have guards who are stationed here who can come out. You have guards who are stationed here who are eyeballing, watching, and you have guards who are kind of in here in sort of an honor guard capacity, or as kind of greeter, like a Walmart greeter, but they're still guards, and they're gonna lock this down. They'll probably come in and sit in this room, say, okay, you're not, whoever's in here, assuming we didn't catch you, the nature of the alarm, whatever it is, whatever they come, all right, we haven't caught you, we're kind of hanging in here. And then other things are going to be kind of going in motion. Things are going to start locking down. So your ability as a party to beat this scenario, and we talked about that maybe the scenario could be different things. It could be rescuing a prisoner. It could be maybe someone's discovered what's going on back here and they want you to put a stop to it, which would be kind of the ultimate, all right, that's what you have to do. Or it could be you're a prisoner, you're trying to get out, right? There are many different, you can plug in some different scenarios types in here to play around with that. But, and I think, and I guess I should say that the flip side of it being maybe difficult is that it's also something that could be returnable and still be interesting, in terms of if you got to a certain point, you got stuck and pushed out, you could try to use that knowledge to come back, wait, maybe you do something different. I'm thinking of kind of a Conan, right? Conan goes at the end of Conan the Barbarian, or I guess the final part of maybe the end of the second act, into the third act of Conan, went to the whatever they called the mountain there, that big temple, and tried to do Thulsa Doom by himself, got caught, right? He tried to infiltrate in at that point. All right, didn't he? Yeah, I think he put on pilgrim's clothes and he took some flowers and he kind of went in and snuck in with the other petitioners, the other congregants, and ended up there. But he got found out and then put on the tree of woe, and then almost died. And then Valeria comes and they save him, but then she has to pay the price, blah blah blah. And then he goes back to the temple. I think there is a situation you could have some of that. They're not going to change up what's going on in here. Their faith is in their defenses and things. So I think that you can have a scenario where the party escapes and gets out, manages to lay low, and then comes back in to get the revenge. Or they come in here, they get thwarted, they get sent out, and then maybe they try to come in forcefully through the front door and they don't, and then they wait a bit and try to come in through petitioners. All right. So I think in that level, I think there's kind of some I think it is something that could run for multiple things, not because there's some great mystery, but just because maybe it's a job unfinished or you're thwarted. It's definitely going to the more sort of sneaky, I think, and tricksy that the party can be. Probably it would behoove them to do all that stuff. I think trying to run and gun just into the front door. Obviously, the levels they are is going to matter, but in general, I think if they were just trying to come in strong through the front door, not going to work, because even if they wipe out a bunch of people, the guards here are the weaker guards, and if that alertness is going to keep going up, and it would be really hard to do this strong through the front door and have things not go poorly from a couple of ways. You have eyes on you when you're coming in here. You can't come in here, run and take out these guards. It would be very tricky without some guards in here seeing it or even getting wind of it somehow. Oh, it's I'm gonna drop a smoke bomb. It's like, well, when they see the smoke coming in, they're gonna know like that's not normal. They're gonna anything not normal. Like the idea here is these guys aren't dummies. They're not gonna sit there while you that you do a bunch of stuff and and oh they didn't they there's only smoke. It's like, nah, well, either the place is on fire or someone's dropped a smoke bomb. They're they're gonna be well aware. So they got eyes here. They've got eyes here. They've got things going on. So, like I said, if I when I can have a chance to run this a few times, which I hope to try, and then hopefully when people start to play it themselves, I'll be definitely be curious how it goes. But I would certainly recommend that, and maybe and I'll definitely try to put some notes in here to um, let the party know this is really, like I said, it's a heist kind of thing. Is you're going to come in with some kind of plan. It's going to go awry, but then it's kind of like, well, how far did we get before things went awry? And there are a couple ways to mitigate it. If you can end up in some of these back passages, they're very really not frequented very much. There are probably a couple other spots you can get to. I wouldn't say you could hide out there, really, um, but you could kind of wait, play kind of a cat and mouse kind of game, and then it really depends on what your goal is. Can you get over here and do something? Like, what is that kind of doing? Right? Can you get the prisoner? Maybe you can get them and then come out. But I could see this being, I guess maybe what I'm saying is I could see this being the cult could be somebody that you could have multiple adventures involving, some of which might take place here, some of which might take place out in the world. But this could be a kind of a base. I mean, that's why I mean they kind of built it out to be sort of a permanent base, knowing that someone might get wind of them do something, but they tried to build it as much as they could with kind of things in place to make it as not as formidable as it could be, because obviously they can make it more formidable, but it also has because it's got this function of trying to portray itself as an open temple thing, right? They have some limitations and some things they're trying to do, and then they're trying to do that. So that's kind of the plan here. All right, so we got the kitchen area. Let's go down to the kitchen area. The kitchen area down here, that is L1A, the kitchen. Pot of foul. Always bubbling in a crude stone hearth. A pot of foul smelling gruel is always bubbling in a crude stone hearth. Meat of Tu's provenance butchered on a stone slab. A covered midden hole. Trash into the. I don't have. Did I have a name for them? I don't think I do. I call them Frog Hound Pit. Five. Okay. So here's what's going on here. This T, it's a trap door. It's not hidden though. I think if somebody took, it was maybe I could see it breaking. Somebody put a bunch of weight on it. I don't know if they stepped on it, but certainly if they maybe jumped on it or you could anyway, I could see it break. I'm not going to put stats in it quite yet for hey, if it breaks, that's something up to you. But a manhole size cover, and basically it's for trash. But the trash goes down in this pit where there are these kind of frog hounds. Like I think I Frog dogs. I should call them frog dogs. That's better. Frog dogs. So the frog dogs are down there and they get fed trash and also prisoners. Oh, by the way, also prisoners. Oh, I think I was putting, I'll put it in there, right? A stone, I don't remember. I'm just going to say, I'm going to have to look at the formatting at the end of this to fix things up. The door leads, door opens into a cramped spiral stairway that leads down to okay, there's our kitchen entry. So we have the staging area L2. Yeah. Cloaks. Why do I keep spelling cloaks? And oh, you know what? Let's see. I forgot what did I call the. I had a name for what I was calling those things. Tunics. Thank you. Many sets of outer circle guard cloaks and tunics hang on pegs. Oh, let me see. Outer, I should probably do this like this way. Outer circle guards pass through here on their way onto and off duty. On pegs that the guards change into and out of as they pass. Outer circle guards pass through here on their way onto and off duty. Many sets of outer of I don't think I need to keep saying outer circle guards. Outer circle guards pass through here on their way onto and off duty. Many sets of cloaks and tunics hang on pegs that the guards change into and out of as they pass. I think that's good enough. Oh yeah, I can put right. So there, a metal door to the west leads into the cells. I'll get the exact room name. And there's another one. A concealed, no, a wooden doorway sealed on the other side leads into the foyer, I think it is. Foyer. All right, so the outer circle guards pass through here on their way onto and off duty. Many sets of cloaks and tunics hang on pegs that the guards change into and out of. I'm using that kind of twice as they pass. And maybe I'll. Does doff mean to take off? I know don, like don clothing. That was an old. I don't know. It's always funny when you run into certain words. Don, as in to don a jacket or something, to put on. Was my introduction to that word? I think was through Infocom games, because that was a word you could use. So does doff? It is doff. I always think of doffing a cap, but I think okay. No, it works. Cool. Don or doff. as they pass. Hey, Riley, welcome to the stream. This is a stream. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing it. I'm just working on my this Don John here. Oh, I typed that in the wrong thing. But happy to have you. As for as long as you feel like hanging around and want listening to me prattle and watch me type on the keyboard. Okay, so the staging area. This is L2. Outer Circle guards pass through here on their way onto and off duty. Many sets of cloaks and tunics hang on pegs that they, yeah, I guess I'll just say they, because there's only one, that they don or doff as they pass. They and they. But they, I'll leave that. A metal door to the west. This right here leads to the cells. I'll get the name. A wooden doorway concealed on the other side. Right, it's secret from this side. It's not secret from here. From here, it's obvious. It's known. I don't know if there's a way. Is there a good symbol for a kind of a half secret door? I'm not sure. And this will get reformatted. But I'm actually, you know what? I have to say, I'm kind of digging doing this format because even though I keep mentioning on stream, oh, I got to go back and fix it. I'm not I am holding my my desire to want to go and format things in final form or whatever final form looks like today. I'm holding off of getting sucked into that. So that is good. So now the commons is here. So we had, okay, so it's continuing onwards. We got here. This is a well. So this commons area had some crates and barrels and stuff. I didn't put anything in there. That's fine. I'll come back to it. Well, this is just a watered down apple cider for the working man. I wonder, excuse me. I wondereth what I should do with this space. But I'm not sure, so I'm going to should I leave it. What else could be in there? Because this is for the cult members, right? This is not for. There's no they're not there's no heirs in here. There is this area here is more religious in nature where they venerate. Because if you recall, or I'm just gonna as I'm restating there's two parts to this cult. There's two levels. There's the outer circle and the inner circle. The inner circle knows the truth, which is that they're trying to bring about breaking out this toad demon, amphibian demon out of its prison over here. That's what the inner circle. The inner circle knows that's the real purpose. The outer circle is they're worshiping the same thing, but they don't know or appreciate what that thing really is. So there's kind of two tricks being played. If you want to look at it from the top down, the high leadership, it's kind of like I don't say a pyramid scheme. It's sort of like something like you might think of with Scientology or something like that. Where from what I know of Scientology, there's essentially there's these different levels of membership, and you are revealed different things as you go in. A mystery religion style would be another way to put it. And so in this one, in the outer circle, what they are given is that they're doing this stuff to bring about sort of paradise on Earth, so to speak, right? Paradise into the material realm, of which, of course, they will be masters of, right? They will be at the top of whatever the new food chain is going to be in paradise. They'll be at the top because heck, they've been helping. They've been the right hand of the one and true, the one true, real authority, God, whatever you want to call it, power. And when they bring about this paradise, they're going to get put in the lead spots because doing it. That's what they believe. What they don't know is that what really is going on is this toad demon is going to be unleashed, and whatever that toad demon's version of paradise looks like, it's not going to be paradise for them, and they're not in a particular. Maybe they'll be in a slightly favored spot, maybe, but certainly it's not what they think it is. So that's what they're doing here. This is where they're venerating that stuff. What I don't know is what they're doing here. So here's this common area, and I have them both listed as common areas. I could change that. I don't, there's a bunch of people that are doing stuff. They don't need to do anything religious in there because they're doing that in here. I'm trying to be, I don't want to say realistic, but I'm trying to keep it real in that there's a lot of supplies and stuff, which I think also will help with parties, right? This is kind of something that I'm not doing it to give the party something to grab. I'm trying to do what makes sense. You have cultists, they need to dress up as these guards to go out here. So they're doing that. And so I'm having this room where, okay, there's all the pegs where they're basically putting on their costumes and their makeup and they're going out onto the stage, if you will. That does mean, though, as you know, I'm trying to make that kind of real for them so that there's sort of an understandable flow to personnel. And of course, that means that if the party's in the right spot, maybe they see somebody slipping through the doorway one way or another, and that can be kind of a way to reveal some of this to them. It also means that if the party can get into one of these rooms, and there's a couple of rooms like this. There's one with weapons in it. There's one with sort of incense and stuff, so that's not really going to help them too much. But here is that okay? If you get in here, you could also put on cloaks and stuff. The bad news is that works a lot better if you're on your way out, because the people back in here are not wearing that stuff. If you're wearing that stuff, it means you're on duty. You should be going this way. Nobody with those cloaks should be back here. You take them off, and then you're kind of free. So it's an interesting spot. But of course, it's a nice role playing kind of thing, because if they were to put on those clothes and then exit out in here, the first thing is be like, someone's going to come out here and say, "Why are you wearing those clothes here?" Take them off. If you're off duty, like, what are you thinking? Take them off. Are you what's going on? Which would make them suspicious, but there's some room to kind of play it off. So it's an interesting room. And again, we were talking about scenarios. If you're trying to escape and you manage to get through here, you could potentially put on a thing. If you end up going this way, because if you're in these cells, you get out, you might not know to go this way. You might want to try to go back this way, which would be more difficult. If you end up going this way, there is this room. Though there's going to be people in here, probably somebody in here almost all the time. Because there's somebody probably getting on, getting off, whatever. Probably most of the time. More often than not. Probably a good chance somebody's in there. So it's an interesting, I guess, like I said, I think trying to make kind of a workflow for this organization sensible does also lead to, well, it's interesting things for the players. I'm not putting them here to give them, like, this is not me putting this here. So, grab, like you've seen a video game or something where, okay, you go in the room and there's the thing, and like, oh, grab the thing. It's perfect. Now I put it on and I can get through the next part of the dungeon because I have to be I have to be disguised. That's not what this is, but it does have, in fact, it's, like I said, it's even kind of a little bit tricky because nobody's wearing those things in the living quarters. So if you wear them in there, you're going to get some weird looks. But maybe you could just get far enough to make use of it. That'll be up to you. Okay, so that's the staging area. The commons, right? L3 commons. I don't know yet. L4, the outer sanctum. This is where I forget the guy's name. That I should probably remember the guy's name. I know he's over here. Bufo Anaxyrus. Anaxyrus in a hybrid amphibian humanoid form. Hey, Dungeon Master Masterclass, long time no see. Yep, thanks for coming in. I'm glad. Yeah, I've I always have mixed. No, I don't want to say mixed isn't the right word. I tend to stream kind of all over the place, and I apologize for folks. I wish that my affairs were in such order that I could be like clockwork and always stream at these times. However, I think the benefit of it is I have often found that when I end up streaming on, I don't know, maybe what I would consider off hours from my usual, it gives different people a chance to join who come and hang out who don't normally get there. And there's almost always somebody that's like, hey, I finally get to join one, or hey, it's great, right? Because I'm in somebody's time zone, or somebody's got the free bit when normally they don't. So um, I'm glad to serve, though I don't mean it. I mean, I think if I had an ideal, right, if I could just kind of get to a point where I could set my schedule, I'd probably try to have some morning and some afternoon, maybe an evening thrown in there once a week, something like that, so I could I could try to hit different people because I know these streams for whatever they're worth, it's probably more fun to hang out and be able to interact than it is to watch them afterwards. So what do I know? Someone you guys can tell me if these are interesting or useful or good background noise as you're trying to go to sleep or get through a root canal in recorded form. All right, so there's a statue. So we're in room L4, the outer sanctum. There's a statue flanked by columns, right? Humanoid in hybrid, that's like in its, yes, hybrid humanoid form between two columns. I guess I'm gonna call them outer circle cultists. Hey, Ray. I'm just gonna change this up a bit. Cyrus here. What's the word? I guess crouching, bowing. I don't know. Showing penitence, right? That was in what was it? Last Crusade. Indiana Jones rolling to the floor, being the penitent man. Genuflecting. Thank you, Zerbus. That's a great word. Circles. The outer circle cultists pray to here. Thank you. I'll throw that in. Genuflecting for a statue of, now since I named him before, of the demon in its hybrid and humanoid form. Two columns rise up on either side of the statue. And we got a door. I wanted to say I meant this door to be locked. No, that door is probably not locked. It goes to another living quarters. Howard Hughes used to be a genuflector, then they took an arrow to the knee. Dump dump. That can happen. Was it a genu arrow with genufletching? Oh no, let's see. I've got my Amazon device is giving me that yellow notification. It's probably something goofy. Well, not goofy. It just doesn't tend to affect me. Well, that's not even true. Stuff like there's a flood advisory, or I don't know what the weather's supposed to be. It's just hot as blazes. I don't even know if it's actually that hot temperature wise, but man, the mugginess has been up. Let's see. Dungeon Masterclass says, "Have I thought about color coding the parts of the map of the temple?" Yeah, I actually, and I showed it briefly, sort of accidentally. I had some colors that I had done for myself. Let's see which one of these is this one. Hold on a minute. My earliest ones, because I took this and I labeled it. I might even have done this on stream. So I actually have that. So I might go and color this back in at the end. Because yeah, it would definitely help. So yes, this actually was had been colored already. I think I went through and did this to help me break down which areas were where. But yeah, I'll probably go back and do that to this final one. I have to see what good colors are for, or I don't know if it's I have to see what the kind of color, like the good accessibility colors, and see how they work. Because if there's too, I don't know with color blindness, if it's too, 'cause I don't want it to overwhelm other things here. I don't know. I got to see. I got to see if there's some good shades that will not be overwhelmingly crazy bright, and but still help and be kind of colorblind accessible though. On the, or do I just, if you're colorblind, I do have the numbering, so I'll have to look at that. That's kind of first world problems at the end sort of thing. But yeah, I do agree that color coding it would definitely help. But like I said, right now I just have I put the letter using the letter numbers for room keying for that also. All right, so then L5 is the gate of knowledge. This is where if you get this is where you are initiated. If you are initiated into the inner sanctum, this is how you pass. So remember, this is a cult. They got this worship area when they've decided that you, whoever you might be, have gotten to a level where you are now ready to be, or you kind of have been, you've had a meeting, you've taken a call, you're sort of, you've done the work and they've intuited, or at least they believe that you're ready. Here, where they'll have a ceremony where they kind of open up these gates and you kind of pass through into the first part of the inner sanctum, and then there's this kind of journey. So the other thing I tried to map out with this was this journey. Now, by the way, this map started off as I think I cobbled this together through some random generators, and then I just so and I kind of like that for this because the concept is this is all this isn't this is a classic dungeon. This is in the side of a hill or a mountain or something, and so I kind of like the idea that there's things aren't clean and perfect because they were probably some of the stuff was there already, and then they spent a lot of time resources hammering out what they could, but a lot of it is sort of in is done in a certain way because they're dealing what they have. There's certain, so it's not a perfect. This is exactly how we would architect this if we were building it. No, it's kind of weird because there's probably some found, and maybe this even existed as something else first, and then they build onto it. Haven't decided all that stuff, but I kind of like the fact that there's a bit of a we have this space now. What are we doing with it? Kind of feel to it. So they've made some alterations and they put things in here. Like they put this. This is kind of a big metal gate and design all this stuff, but they kind of worked it out, worked it to do what they could. In any case, L5 is this gate of knowledge. Initiates into the inner circle are formally inducted here. A large bronze plated, maybe I'll just call it bronze gate. I was saying plated bronze gate. Inner sanctum. Okay, I'm kind of getting out of turn. Garish murals cover the walls. Celebrating, let's see, the rise and triumph of Cyrus. Okay, I'm just gonna put that. I'll have to come back to some of these. Part of it for me is I really just need to get text out there. I don't know how different people operate. Sometimes I really feel like, you know what, I just need to get words Words on page. I will come back and I will go through them, but I just need to get the words on page. So I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry about too much. And get words on the page, and then I'll sort out stuff later. So I also have to do, wandering creatures and some of the other mechanics because I'm trying to make this. The goal for this is to be as a space to be fairly dynamic, and then you're going to be running a lot through wandering creature checks. It's going to be kind of the main driver because I don't. There are a few areas where they're just going to be. I don't even actually. Maybe there won't be. I don't even know. I'm trying to think. Like, are there areas where there's absolutely going to be a certain amount of people all the time? I don't know actually. Uh-oh. All right. Well, on that note, man, this is like probably the shortest stream I've ever done. Where am I at? Oh, 52 minutes. It's not too bad. I'm closing on the hour. Okay, folks. Well, I'm gonna have to leave it here because dinner has arrived. Look for me tomorrow in the noonday sun. Yeah, I'll definitely stream something tomorrow, and maybe even over the weekend. We'll see, because I got a lot of work on this to do, and I need to stop dithering around and do it. So let's help me. Help you can help me get that done by coming and hanging out. But sorry I couldn't put more into today's stream, and I didn't get it done earlier, and I didn't alert folks in time. So apologies for all that. And also remember, this will vanish from visibility, but it will be in the working streams playlist. So follow that working streams playlist, or just check in there if you're ever looking for these streams and you missed them, or you just want to check them out again, or whatever. That's where they're going to live. I'll talk more about it in at other times. But for now, I gotta run. Game on, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye now.